Hi, um, I'm in the Roman. Hi, I'm in the Roman Theater in Plovdiv, where 1 year ago. Да си бутна носа ли?
Не, да ме гледаш в очите.
Да те гледам в очите.
Да.
Okay. Hi, I'm in the Roman Theater in Plovdiv, where 1 year ago Cornell had a concert. We snuck behind the guards so we can get here, and I can tell you this story. So, in the concert 1 year ago, I met Chris. Actually, I was supposed to meet him 10 years ago when I was in high school. I won a contest over the internet to go and see him in Sziget festival in Hungary. But because I was 16, it was very hard to arrange it without my whole family's consent. So I managed to do it. I managed to make my father drive me there with my bigger brother to go and see him live and to meet him. But 3 days before the concert, he said that he was sick, so he was canceling his whole tour. And when I knew that he was coming last year here, I said that this was my last chance, and I made a video which I sent to his then manager, who was kind enough to help me do it. He arranged the meeting through Vicky, Chris' wife, and the whole story is very long and very strange. I don't know if we have the whole time for it, but the thing is that it was so exciting that I would finally get to meet him after being a fan for almost 15 years, that I was super nervous and I had a little bit of breakdown, so I had ulcer in my stomach, which I opened. And when I finally got to meet him, I was on painkillers and I was super nervous. I went here through the back door. I was taken by his bodyguard, went into a little room with curtains, and there he was, Chris, tall, skinny man with giant hands and spaghetti hair covering his face. He stood up and he hugged me. And I was so shocked by that. I imagine that usually if you see a rock star, they have to scrape you down from their back. But at this moment I was so shocked by this that I was the first one to break the hug down, and then we had about a 10-minute chat, which was very awkward, of course. The first thing that we talked about was how am I, just of course all that I wanted to spend my time with him talking about myself and how I got to meet him. So turns out that he was very interested into remembering the exact reason why he couldn't meet me 10 years ago, which was absurd, of course, because no one can remember they were sick probably 10 years ago. So as he was trying to remember what happened, I was thinking to myself, no, I'm losing my time with my favorite musician in the world, but just talking nonsense. So I decided to change the subject with a joke that I had rehearsed with my best friend, and she approved it. And the joke was that 10 years ago, he canceled the concert because he was sick. This time, I was sick, but now he didn't need to cancel the concert. So I was like, great, I will say this, we'll change the subject, it will be funny. No, he didn't get the joke, and now he was concerned about how I'm feeling right now and why am I sick, which was a disaster because now we had to talk about my gastrointestinal problems, and it was like I couldn't remember the name for ulcer, so it was super awkward conversation which lasted like maybe a few more minutes. We talked other stupid things, and then at one point his bodyguard said he has to go on stage because this was right before the concert. And the one thing I remember the most is that after we took a funny picture together, I stretched out my hand and said, okay, Chris, I want to thank you very much for this, and please send regards to your wife Vicky, because I know that she arranged this. And when I said Vicky's name, the man he just light up. His eyes became wide. He had a huge grin on his face as he was still holding my hand. He was just shining from joy. And that's the thing I remember the most from that meeting. That I got this reaction from him that you could only really get from someone who's really, really in love with his wife. And I wanted to share this.